Okay, so this is self-paced lab activity 1. I actually lost the sheet for this, so I just wrote it out. I've already written down my name here. I can pretend to write it down again. Harry Keegan. So that's box 1 checked off. Now, so we're going to be drawing a schematic. So I'll show you now the problem we have. This is the positive side of the battery. This is the negative. It's just going like this. That's a wire right there. Now, I'm just going to draw in a LED. This is the sign for the LED with the two arrows pointing out just there. Light emitting diode. That's what LED means, or what it stands for. Anyway, this is a resistor. I find it easier just to draw them the wee little boxes like this. In this problem, I'm going to be using 220 ohm resistor. I'm just going to write that in for you guys there. You can also draw the resistor like this, but you can do both. So that's my schematic. I'm going to check that off just here. Now, difficult part. Try to set this up. Okay. So you can see what I'm doing. Got my breadboard here. Battery pack. Can put red side in. It's the red little railroad track. Black side into the blue one. If it goes, it does. Yeah. Now I look at my schematic here. I have to put in an LED. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this little red wire here. It's good to use red wire to say that it's the positive side of the battery before it goes through any components. And I'm going to put in my little LED just here. You can tell which side is the positive and the negative side of the LED based on which of the legs is longer. There's also, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but you can tell by the inner components of the LED as well. They look different. Now, so I get my positive side of LED, I stick it in, you see, I have the wire in on row 9 there. So that means that I have to put in the positive side to row 9 as well. Into that later. And if it goes in, yes it does. I'll put in the other side, just down here, I can put it anywhere. If it goes in, yes, there we go. Now I've got my 220 ohm resistor here. Doesn't matter which way you have your resistor. I'm gonna pop it in to row 16, the same row that I have my LED, the other side of my LED in. Now, so it's popped in there, I'm just gonna use wee black wire. I'm just gonna connect the resistor to the negative side of my battery. Now, that's come out there. Now, there we go. That should turn on. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Now, yeah, circuit built. Boom. Number 3 done. I'm just going to relate the nodes on the schematic, and I'm going to relate them to the breadboard circuit nodes. Okay. It's positive side of my battery. This red wire going in just here into my little battery pack. Negative side of the battery, just the black wire just there into the battery pack as well. Then this here wire between my battery pack and my LED. So that's going to be this red wire puts up this whole red railroad track, but I'll get into that later. This wire, this red wire, brings it over here into row 9 just before the LED. So that can be related to this point here. You can relate that to anywhere here pretty much. Positive side of my LED, that's this leg just here. Negative side, well, you call it anode and cathode. Put that's that one just there. My resistor just here. That's there and there. And my resistor and this kind of black line, or well, all the lines are black. This line just here that I'm following with a pen, that is this black wire going into here and up the blue railroad track all the way back up here. And black wire as well. Yeah, so that's part 4 done. Now the standard sockets are connected. So that is basically just these rows here. You see, I have my wire put in on row 9 there. So when I put in my wire on row 9 here, that connects all these little squares. These 5 little squares are labeled A, B, C, D, E just here. That gives power to all of these little boxes just there. So I can move this red wire. I can put it in anywhere on 9. It doesn't matter where it goes, and it'll still work. And the same goes for all of these. However, I can't, only this little gap just here separates them. So if I put, I'm just going to move the LED. If I put this in on row 9 on the other side, no, that's in row 9 on the other side, this focuses. This will not work because power only goes on this side of the breadboard here. Those 5 boxes that I mentioned earlier. It doesn't go all the way across. And that's how the standard sockets work. They also, they don't work. Let me just show you. Yeah, you see, that's giving it power just there. When I put it back into 9, I'm just going to turn this off very quickly. I'll also show you. It only transfers through these 5 boxes. It doesn't go up or down, only left to right between, well, A, B, C, D, and E, or if you're on the other side, F, G, H, I, J. So you see those are connected down. They're just, this red wire is just above my wire here. If I turn this on, see it doesn't turn on. So that's how standard sockets work. Now I'm going to demonstrate how the rail sockets work, or how they're connected, I should say. So I've got my power going into this one just here. So this, you can see this red line the whole way down represents this, all these wires just right next to this red line are powered because of my battery pack connecting just there. So I can move this part of my red wire just here that I'm pointing with my pen. I can move this, hold on. I'm just gonna reconnect my LED. Gonna put this side of my wire in row 9, connecting it to my LED. You see just there. So those are in, they're both in row 9 now. So I can move this side of my wire anywhere on these tracks. Hold on, I don't think I've pushed it in fully. Now, so I've just moved my red wire down this little railroad track a little bit, and it still works. Now, this blue side usually used for negative, but this will power this whole blue line just here. However, it won't power these ones over here. It's similar to with the standard sockets. which I showed you earlier, this little gap separates them. So my black wire, I'll just show you. If I move it there, that's no longer now connected to my negative side of the battery. So if I turn this on, you see power does not flow through it. Because it's not connected, this black wire only gives power to these little boxes next to the blue line. But I can move this anywhere I want, up and down this blue line, and it will still work. Hold on. I must have everything pushed in properly. Let's see. Just give these a push in. Everything's connected now. So I'm going to turn on there. Didn't have everything pushed in fully. Now, so that still works there. So the rail sockets are connected. Now, I'm going to show you how current flows through the circuit. So current always follows the path of least resistance. So if I were to put in, don't have another red cable, so I'm just going to use a green one. If I were to put in a little green cable just here on my positive side, if this pushes in, and bear with me. Now, so you can see this green wire. So now the power is just going down here, but it isn't going through this red wire because it's connected to this green wire here, and it's just going through. Oh, shouldn't be happening. It's going through this green wire here. It's just going straight through the resistor and back up because it follows the path of least resistance. So basically what I'm doing here is I have a wire here. So it's just skipping over the LED because it's the path of least resistance, because wires are very conductive and it's less resistive than LED. So it's just jumping over that. That's how current flows through this circuit. Now I'm going to add in a second LED. I'm going to bypass the first one. I'm just going to set this up here. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this first LED up so I can add in another one. Now, all I'm doing is moving this first LED up to give myself a bit extra room to work with. I'm going to move my resistor up as well. I should have trimmed these wires. Now I'm going to add in my new LED. And I'm going to connect that back up to my negative supply. No, so that's both of them connected there, and now all I'm going to do is bypass this first LED. To do that, I'm just going to connect a wire between my first LED. So I'm going to put it in the same row as my first LED's positive end. And I'm going to just put that in the same row as my LED's negative end and my resistor. So now I have a wire that's basically, it's in the same rows as the LED. So now this wire the current should go through this wire rather than my first LED and then flow through my resistor and my second LED. And you can see that there. So it's going through this black wire instead of my red LED. Now, so that one is bypassed. Done. Check this shown and updated during video. That's also done. Thank you.